Hey, we all set, Danny?
All set, Dave. Okay, let's give it another shot.
Yeah. He's as talented as I am tortured. Robert Davi has enraptured critics and audiences for decades with memorable roles in Die Hard, License to Kill, The Goonies, and who could forget his seminal performance as Detective Sean McKinney in Maniac Cop 2? I certainly can't. Log on to thedukes-movie.com for the latest on his great movie's new DVD release date. Joining me now to talk about all this is the man in question, Robert Davi. Robert, first off, I got to ask you the glasses.
I'm a conservative actor. I don't want people to know who I am. Oh. So that, and in honor of the global warming
yes.
And the sunspots, and also your 500th show, Greg.
Yes.
I wanted to celebrate with you, so I got a bottle of apple cider.
Oh.
And I'm giving it to the crew here.
Yeah, oh, that's
and
nice.
We want to wish you all a happy 500th show.
Why, thank you, sir.
Well, RedEye.
Yeah, you know, Congressman McCotter didn't bring us anything, and all he does, Robert, is pick on me.
Well, you know, I've talked to him about that. I love Thaddeus.
Yeah.
I expect great things from him in the future here.
Yeah.
For the party, and I've told him not to pick on you so terribly.
Yeah, but it hasn't sunk in.
Good to see you, Thaddeus. How are you?
Well, that's all right, Robert. Now that you're here, I'll point out that you don't need to wear sunglasses to protect your anonymity.
Unfortunately, that's not true. Because I'm so recognizable, it's not funny. But anyway, it's good to see all of you. And I just have a little issue with that beautiful Remy for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
And Remy, you know, look, I've seen Barney Frank beat the hell out of people up on that hill, investigating them. And I don't think it was disingenuous. The guy asked him, are you involved in this thing? And for him to slip and slide, you know, I mean, they're all involved. They're all guilty. Let's get to the bottom of this whole thing. This is my you know, this is what gets me crazy, you know.
I think you're right. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I think you're right. I think it's not one person. I think everyone's got to fess up, take some responsibility, and figure it out.
Absolutely, but Barney Frank is sliding all the way. When he was there with Freddie Mac, he was there in '90s. You know, I mean, there's a whole long string of these guys being on certain committees that are letting things slip and slide and promoting a certain agenda that got us into this mess.
It's a little bi-coastal flirting we're looking at right now, Greg, I think.
No, she hates me already.
I don't know.
No, not at all. I agree. I appreciate the discussion, but Greg wants to ask you some questions, I think.
No, I like this. This is the easiest interview I've ever had to do in my life. Besides, you're much better looking than I am, Remy. Now, hey, Robert, I want to ask you first, though, about your new DVD that's coming out, The Dukes. Why should everybody seeing you right now go out and rent it, buy it, or at least adopt it?
Well, you know, The Dukes it's a labor of love. It's won 9 awards, and it's a film that really speaks to what's happening in in our country today in terms of people that have you know, it gets us back to an America that we're slowly seeing slipped away. It's about a doo-wop crew whose relevancy has slipped away, and they've redefined who they are. And it has a lovely redemptive spirit to the film, and it deals with the economy in a certain way, but all in this humor. It's got a great cast: Chaz Palminteri, Peter Bogdanovich, Melora Hardin, Eloise DeJoria, and it's a really it's musical. It's fun.
I love it.
Uplifting.
Melora Hardin, she's that blonde lady.
The blonde lady.
Yeah, she is amazing. She was in The Office. I think she's in The Office, right? She's got an incredible voice, and I never knew that about her. But she's incredibly talented.
Yeah, she's great. She's a singer, and she's terrific.
Speaking of which, you are
ex-wife.
You are a classically trained opera singer. How often do you sing?
Well, you know, I'm preparing another project. I went back. A friend of mine is one of the guys at Disney, and I asked him about a vocal coach, and he introduced me to Gary Katona, who is a genius at the voice, so I started to train again. And I'm going to prepare a film that we really get into this whole singing thing very, very in depth. So you'll see a whole, and Katona teaches Seal and a lot of other people, but he's analyzed from Caruso to Sinatra. In other words, you had these Enrico Caruso. You go on YouTube and listen to Caruso and listen to Sinatra, and you'll see that there's something in their voices. Those are the two greatest voices of our time. And it's very interesting. Sinatra being, you know, the standard singer.
Hey, Robert, can you stick around? Because I got to take a break. But can you stick around for one more block?
Why are you taking a break, Greg?
I got it. It's called
the
commercial.
Are you guys drunk out there or what?
What? No, I wish. But if you just stick around, I want to come back. I still got about a crap load of questions for you. So just don't move. Nobody here moving. We'll be right back.
Guests on RedEye will be staying at the luxurious RedEye Suites. Ideally located right off Route 9 next to the Applebee's, the RedEye Suites features the finest in ice machines, alternative floors only, separate folding dining tray, and sanitized plastic cups for your pleasure. And remember, on Fridays, it's Missing Kidney Night. Bill Schultz's clothing supplied by Goodwill. It's not just a place where soiled transients shop. Or is it?
Hey, we're back with Robert Davi, the great actor. Hey, Robert, we were talking about opera. First, how did you get involved in singing opera? How did that happen?
In 8th grade, I was going to school, and one of the nuns heard me singing. And then in high school, another nun heard me singing in the shower. She wasn't in the shower. She was outside the shower. And she said someone in asking who was singing in the shower.
Wow.
And then she called my parents and said, your son has a voice and you should encourage singing.
Can you give us a little aria?
I will do that when I come in studio for you.
Come on.
Greg,
what if I hold my
and...
breath?
No,
I will.
Well, then I'll hold my breath.
Neither one of you is going to be resuscitated by now.
Also, I'm getting a little lightheaded.
I will sing in studio for you when I come into New York.
Okay. Hey, but I want to ask you just another question about opera. For somebody like me, I've never understood it or was able to get into it. And a lot of people like that. How does one get started to enjoy opera? How do they get into it?
I would get into it by starting with Puccini and the Puccini, the Tosca, the La Boheme, and
that's a pasta. So you start with a pasta?
No. Puccini, Giacomo Puccini.
Oh, okay.
Puccini has Tosca and La Boheme. Go on YouTube and start listening to some of these arias.
Okay.
It's actually the purest art form. And get a libretto so you hear what they're singing about. And it's just something that you get through osmosis, you know?
Yeah. You know what I love about Robert? When he sends me an email, you know he's very, very serious because it's always in caps. You always have the cap lock on your email, especially whenever you're sending me an email about Nancy Pelosi. It's all in caps. That's got to be the only thing you feel more intensely about than opera is Nancy Pelosi. Am I right?
Well, she's an Italian-American like myself, so I'm proud that she's Italian-American and a speaker, the first one there. But I'm very irritated with some of the stuff, absolutely. And I get the cap key stuck, as you saw in the emails. And it just you know, it boggles my mind that we have this whole thing with the Star-Kissed Tuna thing in the American Samoa.
Yeah.
Where in 2007, and Thaddeus would know about this, there is Star-Kiss.
Yes.
Now, Star-Kissed Tuna, American Samoa, 75% of the population worked for Star-Kissed Tuna.
Yeah.
When they gave the minimum wage hike in 2007, American Samoa didn't get the hike from $5 to $7.
But then, no, I looked at. But Robert, I looked up this stuff. I couldn't find like an actual link between her getting.
No. But here's what you find.
Yeah.
Star-Kissed Tuna is owned by Del Monte.
Yeah.
The factory is in Nancy Pelosi's district.
Yeah.
Star-Kissed Tuna is in San Francisco.
But there's a lot of things in the district.
Del Monte is owned by Heinz.
Yeah.
Nancy Pelosi is a career politician, 32 years in the Democratic Party. Her father was a congressman. He was a mayor. The brother was a mayor. God bless them. Yeah. But in politics that long, they know how to subterfuge a little bit of stuff.
I got to tell you, Congressman, do you want to say something? I'm pointing at you. It is like but even when he's talking about Pelosi, it's like an email in capital letters.
Well, I get the same emails from Robert, the all caps. And just, first, Robert, I find my way to opera through Tommy with liner notes in the album. But the second part of this is, Robert, we started off joking, but Robert does do a lot as a conservative actor in Hollywood to come forward on issues that he cares about, that he's passionate about. He loves his country, and he takes a lot of heat out there for this. A lot of conservative actors and artists out in Hollywood and elsewhere getting a lot of trouble. It's not a blacklist, it's a no list.
Exactly.
And you wind up getting dropped. And one day, if you have talent, Greg, you can be dropped from one of those lists.
You know, I've got to thank Robert, but that insult was unnecessary at the end. And I think Robert Davi would agree with me on that one. Hey, Robert, we got to go. Please come back, and when you're out in New York, you promise you're going to sing, and I'm going to hold you to that. And if you don't, I will kill Bill with my bare hands. All right, we got to close things out. See you.